they have enumerated what they intend to do and why they intend to do it. And at the top of the list, they say the reason they can do this is because of the classification of the residents as terrorists. That is their excuse. And there are only two people, two countries that are giving them that excuse: the United States and Iran. What kind of company is the United States keeping when the only other country in the world that's identified the PMOI and the residents of Camp Ashraf as terrorists are the Iranian regime and mullahs? What does that say about the United States' foreign policy? That we share the same policy as our mortal enemy, who has vowed not only to wipe Israel off the map, but who's already attempted terrorist attacks right here on our own soil. And rather than embrace the opposition to Tehran, the PMOI, we are joining in the condemnation in our official policy of the PMI by continuing to list them as a terrorist organization, thereby giving Nouri al-Maliki the license he needs to go in and slaughter innocent people, because, of course, we all know they're terrorists. One of our distinguished speakers this morning is Alan Dershowitz, renowned lawyer and human rights activist. Among other things, he has been known to lead the challenge on anti-defamation. Well, it's defamation. It's defamation to call innocent people who have been disarmed in a camp terrorists, when the people who are terrorizing them threaten them every single day of their lives with murder. Who's the real terrorist? Well, this afternoon we'll talk about what is going on and why it reflects on U.S. foreign policy and U.S. credibility. Because with us today are a number of distinguished U.S. leaders in foreign policy and domestic leadership. And that is what our mission today will be, to bring some transparency to what it is that's happening right as we speak, and what it is that we can do as our nation to avert a humanitarian disaster, to avert a war crime. And that what we will say today is that before Nouri al-Maliki can step foot in the United States of America, not only must he disavow his license to kill, but he must say that he will give international monitors at the United Nations enough time to do their job. If he wants to be considered a member of the international community in good standing, then he had better follow international law and allow the UN High Commission on Refugees to complete their work, instead of demanding they all be scattered, isolated, divided, conquered, and murdered, which is essentially what his policy is today. Now I have the honor to introduce another individual who has a distinguished record, not only as chairman of the Democratic National Committee, as a governor, as a presidential candidate, but I wanted to highlight another thing, another title that he's worn, and that is physician, medical doctor. Because all of us who are familiar with the service of medicine know the Hippocratic Oath. First, do no harm. So I think it's appropriate today that he speak to us, as he has so eloquently on many occasions before, about how do we take that Hippocratic Oath in medicine and apply it to public policy. First, let's do no harm. Let's not allow another assault
and massacre at Camp Ashraf. Let's now hear from a real human rights leader, Howard Dean.